Big Ron Shaw here, the Earl of Upsets, telling you to watch my friends, Monte and the Pharaoh, on Long Island's #1 wrestling podcast show, and soon to be the world's #1 wrestling podcast show. That is going to be a big upset.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, seen out of Monte's room and Pharaoh's room as we are still waiting for our studio to be ready. And our special guest in the Monte the Pharaoh sandwich is Miss Tiffany Nieves. How are you?
Thank you. La Princesa Tiffany Nieves is so happy to be here with you too. I'm doing well. I just checked into my hotel room. I'm here in Toronto, Canada, getting ready for my travel to Barbados tomorrow. I'm making my big debut for this new company. It's ACW. Mark Henry's the face of it, all Caribbean wrestling. So I'm really excited.
That's really great. How'd you hook up with them?
How'd I hook up with them? How'd they hook up with me? They begged me to come. That's how it happened.
Wow, look at you, man. Look at you.
Swagger.
Jimmy, I think we got a tiger by
I
tail.
didn't
on this
look
one.
that hard for them, you know.
Swagger.
You can find me.
Swagger and not Jack Swagger, thank God. Swagger. Nice.
Yeah, so you guys are in New York. I'm seeing. Were you guys there for NWA 77?
No, I just got back to New York from Florida. I got back from I was only gone for Florida 2 years. I've been in New York my whole life. I did a sidestep and I just got back.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So NWA, we just had our big event. We celebrated 77 years. So we were in Long Island out of one of their theaters there, and it was so awesome. It was great. It was awesome because I retained my title.
Jimmy,
so.
they were at the Paramount, right? So
The Paramount,
really?
that's where it is.
Okay.
So we were actually supposed to go to that, and you hadn't gotten back yet from Florida.
Right.
And
Right.
I got hung
Well,
up
maybe
on
you can catch us for 78.
Yeah, good venue too.
Why are you only coming back for one time a year? I mean, you should be coming.
I
to
don't
New
know
York
if we're
quite
coming
often.
back to New York. You just have to catch 78 now that you missed 77.
Can you fly me to Bermuda?
But
Kidding.
I will tell. Are you in New York now?
Yeah, I just got back. Yep.
So
I'm
then
here.
I expect to see you guys for the meet and greet. I'm coming out to it's called the Big NY event in New York.
Oh, you'll be
Sure.
in the big event. Oh, cool.
We'll
Yeah,
see
see
and
you
I'm
there.
flying into
We'll see
Long
you.
Island, and it's
Okay.
right there. So I
You will
hope
see us.
we can make this. We can meet in person.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
Sounds good.
We're really good
So be
at getting.
careful what you say, because I will remember it.
Well, we're really good at getting
Well,
talent
Mike,
coffee, right?
Yeah, we can get quiet. Yeah, I'm good for. Yeah, no, you mean you'll send me for the coffee? Who are you kidding, Mike? Unbelievable. Well, I'm not gonna fight her, so I'll watch what I say tonight.
Please.
Yeah, let's start with the basics, Tiff. Growing up, at like what age do you decide that this is what I'm gonna do?
Right. So it's very interesting. La Princesa grew up in New York, the Bronx. I have 3 sisters, 2 brothers. My parents were separated since birth, so I never knew what it was like to grow up in a house with 2 parents. So I had a lot of leeway when I was at my mother's. She loved wrestling. So we were allowed to watch wrestling. I have 5 cousins that are all boys from my aunt. And we would go over, play the video games, watch it, whatnot. And I knew wrestling had something special when I would go over to my dad's house and it wasn't allowed on TV. Like I could not watch it. And it was so upsetting to me because I'm like, what the heck? My mom says I can. Why? And it made me actually love it more. And it's really funny. I wish at that time my dad would tell me the things he tells me now, because my dad is my number one fan. I mean, he was at 77 New York. He was there when I won I get goosebumps. I have literally
You just
goosebumps. You
gave them
can't
to
see it.
me. I don't think they'll come across on camera, but I got them. I don't even know why I got them, and I
I
got them.
know,
Go
it's
on.
just energy. It's realness. My dad
Yeah.
flew out when I won the Mission Pro Championship title. He's flown out to watch me wrestle in OVW. My mom, same thing. But it really means a lot because my dad didn't show that side. It makes me want to cry because he's my number one fan. Never once do I go, man, I wonder if I'm making my dad proud, because I can even send you a picture when he's watching me. He looks like I graduated Harvard. It's so amazing. So I don't know why he didn't tell me back then, but he shares stories with me about how him and his cousin would take the mattress outside and wrestle all the time, that they wanted to be the tag team. So I wish you would have shared that with me then, rather than not allowing it. But I understand he had 4 girls. So it was during the Attitude Era, and he just thought it was the most criminal thing ever. I was going to Catholic school, and I thought seeing things like Trish Stratus take off her shirt was so hot.
Right.
I don't know. Something about it told me that is what, I don't know. I loved it. So I started watching it very young. And then eventually, I grew out of it. I think some people tend to grow out of it. I got more involved in sports. And when COVID happened, unfortunately, I lost my grandmother. And that's when I grew a little courageous, and I decided I was going to do things that I probably never done or wish I would have done if my grandma was still around. She would always say, I was La Princesa, I'm a star, I'm meant to be on TV. So during COVID, a lot of things shut down, but the one thing that was shady enough to still be open was wrestling schools. And at the time, I had just watched John Wick 2, and I loved John Wick. And I thought, man, maybe I can brush up on my stunt skills and build to my resume. And during COVID, the only thing that was shady enough to be open, like I said, were wrestling schools. So I started training at a very rundown school that I don't even think deserves the credit, unfortunately. And I remember not knowing, the curtain wasn't pulled for me. Yeah. I mean, I remember watching wrestling and watching exchangements happen in the ring, thinking, whose mama are they talking about when they're whispering in each other's ear? Because I know they're just saying something so awful to each other when they talk in the ring. So I remember when I showed up to my first day of training, I didn't know what to expect. I did not know. I just knew that I had to be tough, but I just didn't know what to expect. And after the first day, after the first month, I broke my finger almost immediately. And I was a licensed massage therapist at the time. So in that first month, I had to make a decision. Am I going to keep doing this? Because now it's putting me at risk for my massage job. Or am I just going to say I did it? And that was when I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, I love wrestling. That's when I realized it was breaking my finger that I thought I came in here because I thought I wanted to be a stunt actress on TV. But I came in here to remember who the hell I am. I grew up watching wrestling a majority of my life, and I forgot that part of me. And everything just felt so natural. And I know a lot about wrestling, but that I had forgotten. So it was just like a part of my childhood had gone missing. And during COVID, it just reconnected. And it was not intentional. It was not like, I want to be a wrestler and I'm going to pursue it. It was, I feel really lost right now. I'm really sad. I miss my grandma. The world is in a really weird place. Where do I belong? I don't know. I'm just going to throw myself here and see what happens. And I've never felt more seen. Obviously, I'm now a TV champion. I went out to eat today and someone literally stopped me and said, hey, have you been on TV? I feel like I know who you are. And that was incredible. So I didn't, it's really exciting to know that I was lost, but really I was supposed to find wrestling. So that's how I got into it. But it was always in my path, always in it clearly was always supposed to be in my destiny. So it stinks that I had to lose my grandma to reconnect with it. But I would say it's probably the best thing that's ever happened.
Tiffany, let me ask you this. When you first get back into wrestling, you loved it as a kid, you break away from it, you come back, you go to wrestling school. I can only imagine, did that break your spirit at all, considering the school you were at? Or were you like, what am I doing here? Why, I know you loved it and you got that connection, but at some point were you like, what am I doing? Why am I wasting?
No, wrestling didn't break my spirit. I think losing my grandma made me broke my spirit, and wrestling helped me find it. and that was incredible. So the first school I went to, kind of like most wrestling schools, if you don't do your research, which I didn't, remember I was lost. I didn't know what I was looking for. So when you don't know what you're looking for, you attract that, So I found a school that encouraged me to find an even better school. I was scouted at that school from QT Marshall, and I had very little skill. And QT Marshall saw me once. He got me in the ring. He asked me how old I was. And next thing you know, I was booked for AEW Dark. But La Princesa did not feel like she got enough TV time. I was like, what is this? I mean, I took one deep breath and I was out of the ring already. I was like, what the heck is this? Right. And that motivated me to go, you know what? I love that feeling. I was in the ring with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and I thought, this is it. But they got the roles reversed. I don't know. I'm not supposed to be in this role. So I went ahead and invested in myself, as everyone should if they want to be taken seriously. And La Princesa went right to flatbacks. I trained for 8 weeks under Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. Congrats on Tyler Breeze making it back to NXT.
There you go.
And I went there for 8 weeks. And, I won't get so much into that journey, but it was challenging. No broken spirits there, but I had to sacrifice a lot. I had to give up my apartment. I had to sleep on couches. I spent nights like just hopping around just so I can complete this program, 8-week program, until I finally was able, a room was available and they put me in their student housing. But before that, it's really hard to get in flatbacks. You have to apply, they have to accept you, and you have to make sure you enroll in time. So I had enrolled in a time where I just had an epiphany. I go, oh my gosh, I just had this AEW match. I loved it, but I didn't. I really didn't. It was like what they call a really quick match, blink of an eye. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I thought, how can I change how to get better? So I just threw everything I had, all my money. I gave up my apartment. I quit my job, and I just got up with no plan, and I went right to flatbacks, not knowing. By week 8, I had no idea where I was going to live because I used all my money so that I can go here. I had no idea where I was going to live. And the last week of school, I remember I almost felt like a broken spirit. I got a phone call, and the phone rings, and it's a gentleman who was at OVW at the time. He had said that he showed Al Snow and Doug Basham a picture of me, and they thought I'd be an excellent add-on to the roster. And if I wanted to come down for the summer because they're shooting wrestlers for Netflix, that the invitation was there and they would offer me housing and I wouldn't have to worry about it. Well, remember, I had no idea where I was going to live, and I just got an opportunity for housing and more training. So the last day of flatbacks, I drove 14 hours from Florida right to Kentucky, moved in. I was only supposed to be there for 3 months, and I ended up being there 2 years. And history was made when I went to OVW, for sure, for La Princesa.
Jimmy, I always have so much respect for people like Jimmy's an artist too. Jimmy was a big time band, a rock and roll star here on the island.
Oh, so he knows, yeah. You gotta take a rip.
But me, on the other hand, I just never had those type of balls.
If that makes any sense.
What's that?
Because I said it's like my grandma left this world so she can lead me in the other one. Because I mean, when I tell you I was just at the right place, the right time, constantly,
right.
and prepared, though, that was on me. But I mean, when I tell you a lot of the right place, right time, but a lot of people don't put themselves there due to fear, due to lack of support, due to tools. I had to believe illusion, whatever it was. And I don't blame. That chip on my shoulder has a lot to do with the fact that I beat cancer at a young age. I feel like anything can be mine to grab. I mean, when you're told so young that you're sick with cancer and you have to do chemotherapy, the first thing you think is, am I going to die? And then when you learn to get over that hump of waking up, not knowing if you're going to die every day, your life changes. Whether you get over it or you get into remission, that's something that will never go away. The world doesn't prepare you for something like that. Nothing can prepare you for anything like that. Luckily, I have a great family and support system, and I was very prepared. Like I said, it seems like I've been very prepared for all the opportunities, even something as horrible as sickness. I was very prepared for mentally, and I'm very thankful for that. So that, I feel like, coming from the Bronx and overcoming cancer at such a young age made wrestling easy for me. All the humps, everything that should break your spirit doesn't break me because I've been through it. That I almost feel like that happened so that I can be where I am today.
I think the key thing to take out of it, Mike, is that she sacrificed when she went for her dream. If you don't sacrifice, you do not give yourself the opportunity to open the door of chance or fate. Or whatever way you
that makes me. And people say a lot about sacrifice. And I think sacrifice means, okay, let me sometimes sacrifice is not going out with your friends and staying home, but I mean, sacrifice is a lot of different things, you know.
It is.
Sacrifice is not knowing if there will be a return if you make this decision at all.
Right.
That's
Right.
sacrifice, you know.
Yep.
And I made a lot of sacrifices not knowing if there'd be a return, but understanding that a return isn't for anyone else to give me but me. So when you start thinking that way, you start creating the outcomes you want rather than waiting for them to happen. And that's kind of how my career has gone.
It's beautiful. Look, wrestling, women's wrestling has come, and my partner is the biggest proponent for women's wrestling. I've always been like, to be very honest, you really got to show me over the years. And I've come around, Mike. You know I have, because at first, you know, like, look, we grew up during Fabulous Moolah. The women were always the additive, not the preservative. So when the women's evolution started happening, Mike was way ahead of the curve. He's like, yes, and I'm like, show me.
Yeah, work for
Obviously,
it. Work for it.
obviously, they've shown me. I'm a huge Charlotte Flair fan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we all know
Charlotte
now, wrestling
Flair.
for women have come a long way. But for you, coming in now, what are the biggest challenges that you face trying to get to where you want to get?
I think, like everyone, some of the challenges I face, honestly, is the demands compared to the tools sometimes you're given. That's it. And again, I think me coming from the Bronx, New York, I grew up with a lot of siblings. I grew up with a lot lack of tools, and God bless my parents. They did everything in their power to provide, but still, at the end of the day, there were some things that I didn't have, but I was still expected to perform at a rate like as if I do have it. And I think sometimes I face that in wrestling, but I handle it with grace because it's something I grew up with my background. So for me, it ends up being my superpower. I watch others struggle, and I still do, but I handle it so differently. I will tell you that.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, right? So not only are you a woman, right? You're also a Latino, and
That's right.
in today's society, as you know, Jimmy and I are big about women's empowerment, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
understand, but we're still, the country still has a long way to go. I'd almost see, I would fairly say that women's rights are still behind even our racial rights in this country, but we're growing, right? But now here you are, you're living that in your real life, and now you enter this wrestling world, which, as we know, is political. How difficult is it you to handle and balance all this without crumbling? Right? I mean, look, respectfully, you're a beautiful woman,
Thank
talented
you.
wrestler. Uh, it's I have to imagine it's difficult, right? There's got to be a lot of pressure in a lot of ways, and we all know what's been going on, way back in the day, even up to today, with the accusations against Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and on and on and on. And I'm sure you've heard all the stories. So my question is, you answered it, but could we go a little deeper? How do you balance it, not just as a wrestler, but as a woman in the United States of America today?
So I will tell you, Pharaoh Monte, thank you so much for supporting women's wrestling. The fact that it comes is really cool that you said show me, and that makes it so genuine. And I love when people are genuinely not forced to love women's wrestling. That's special. That is really special. Aside from just the attraction, But I will tell you, something that meant the world to me was I did my research, and I am the first ever Puerto Rican woman to ever hold an NWA Women's Championship title and a tag team title. So when you ask me that question, I'm going to tell you it's not hard. It's not. It's not. I have never, because I don't know if it's the family I grew up in. I don't know if I have 2 brothers, 4 sisters. I never went in a room thinking, oh my gosh, I'm a woman. I was never aware of that. I never went in a room thinking, oh my gosh, I'm Spanish. I'm at a disadvantage. I just don't have that story. I can't share that I had that difficulty. And anyone who has, I commend them and thank you for breaking that wall, because I don't have it. But I know it exists because when I looked up the facts, how is it in 2025 that I am the first Puerto Rican woman? That's when I felt it. Because when I walk into rooms, my dad never raised me to be aware that I'm a woman or a Hispanic woman or Puerto Rican. I'm Tiffany Nieves. When you look at me, you're talking to me. When I ask for something, you're talking to me, and I'm taking it. I'm not asking for it. If you got a problem with it, talk to someone else, maybe your mom about it, but not me. Because if I want it, there's a reason I want it. And if I take it, there's a reason I took it. And it's that simple. That's how I was raised. And the only person I answer to, I believe in God, and that's who I answer to. So when I feel like you don't have many people to answer to, you don't see the walls that are built. So I think that's why I've been able to knock down and achieve things, because I ask for things that maybe others wouldn't. I don't see things that other people do because I don't have time to. Like I told you, I beat cancer. You think I'm looking to see if someone looks at me the wrong way if I didn't get an opportunity? If I didn't get an opportunity, I'm not blaming someone else. It's got to be my fault. My promo wasn't good enough. My outfit probably wasn't good enough. My skills weren't good enough. I don't ever think, oh, it's because I'm not a girl or it's because I'm Puerto Rican. Never. If anything, I always thought it worked in my favor because I am beautiful and I am a female. But I'm not going to say, like in any world, you have to have boundaries. You know what I mean? You can't easily. There's a yin and yang to everything. There's an awful world in wrestling that you have to be aware of. But there's also an amazing unity in wrestling. You get to choose which side you're going to be. Now, there's times where women or anyone have experienced things, right? I just can't say that that's happened to me yet. I'm not saying that there could have been circumstances where possibly I could have felt that, but I just know it does exist because I can't believe we're in 20. Are you guys here?
Yeah.
Well, we're
Oh,
here.
yeah.
We're just giving you the spotlight, my friend.
We gave
That's
you
all.
the visual
you're so
spotlight
sweet.
there.
I like looking at you guys. Don't make me feel alone. Okay.
All right,
So
we won't leave you alone. We'll be here.
Okay, so I knew that it must exist. So remember, a little bit of La Princesa she really is Tiffany. Like everything La Princesa represents, some people say you have to be amplified to a million. So I am very delusional, and the delusional has made me win the race. So even when I hear no, I don't really hear no. I mean, maybe that's the issue, but the only time I ever felt and knew it was a thing is that it was 2025, and it brought me to tears to know because it was an honor. And that's why I said, you know what? We're going to amp this up then. We're going to amp this up so hard. And that's why I am a New Yorker. My father was, my father's family, they come from Puerto Rico. So thing with my mother, my grandparents. And, I don't care if I can't speak it fluently. I speak it enough. I don't care if I don't live there 6 months out of the year. I don't care. When you look at me, you do see a Puerto Rican woman. When you look at me, you see the color of my skin. You hear how I talk. So, yeah, I am very proud to wear the colors as much as I can. And no one has ever shunned me. No, my boss has never told me he didn't want me to do it. He loves it. When he saw, they actually got me the job quicker. When he saw red, white, and blue, he goes, we don't have that. We need that. And I was very embraced. So it just opened doors for me. So I'm very grateful that I'm a woman who is Puerto Rican. And I hope that a lot of people hear me speak and go, you know what? I want to be like that. I want to be like that. Because I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I hear a lot of it. I just wonder if we become delusional and close our eyes to it, can it still be there? It's kind of like a bully throwing a rock at you. You keep catching it. You keep saying they're throwing rocks at me. What's going to happen? But you just stay there and you let them throw the rocks. Eventually, they're going to walk away. And I think that's been my method.
Tiffany, well, I'm glad to hear, at least you seem to allude to that you haven't had any awkward
Well,
moments.
I have. Look, rocks have been thrown at me, but I mean, when I'm a mountain, the rocks aren't worth it. Like, so I think sometimes people get so stuck on these rocks, and they deserve spotlight and story time. Okay, rock, all you did was make me a diamond. Under pressure, I became a mountain. So thank you. So I mean, there are scenarios where I didn't mention the first school because the trainer wasn't someone that I would ever recommend for females,
Right.
Cross the lines in certain ways. But I looked that mofo in the eye, said, I got a dad that loves me. Try someone else. And I went to a different school. And it was that simple, Stuff does happen in wrestling. You get to decide if you're going to stay there or not. I think some people in wrestling, and I'm talking to the ladies out there, they feel so brainwashed young that they got to stay at their school and pay their dues. Let me tell you something. Wrestling is about respect, but it starts with yourself. And you've got to respect yourself. You've got to be okay to walk away from things and know if you walk away, it's going to be better for you always. And if you can't feel that way, then that's a you thing. And ladies and gentlemen, it starts with you.
Jimmy, I know I'm going to get the answer for this. Incredible, by the way, Tiffany. I'm already marking. Monte The Pharaoh already putting the stamp of approval on you. You're
my God.
You're going
Yeah, come on.
way on.
Yeah.
I probably know the answer, but I got to ask it. We were just talking about this last week, especially in wrestling, for women's wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Social media. You're on social media hate. How difficult is it for you to perform in outfits and keeping your body in shape and being body shamed for maybe having a bad day? We we talk about when people
I gotta
become
tell
famous.
you, it doesn't happen. And I think it's because I'm very positive. So when I was sick, right? What
Right.
healed me was a lot of meditation, Reiki, and that's why I'm a licensed massage therapist outside. No longer I've retired myself, thank goodness. But I got into holistic healing and medicine because I think, what good does it do for my nervous system and my beautiful face? I mean, I look really good if I'm reading those negative exchanges. So I don't even bother. That doesn't take my time. I'm too busy reading my promos, like developing my character, calling my mom on the phone. I don't deal with the hate because let me tell you, sometimes it's not even in the comments. It's in the locker room. It's everywhere. It's anywhere. And sometimes, not to like rant, it could even be in the mirror. So I spend a lot of time just loving myself. And it's me, myself, and I. Like, I really practice that, and I encourage everyone to. I'm not saying it's difficult. There's times where I'm my hardest critic. I wouldn't say anyone else. I watch my match and I go, that's not good enough for me. And I look at my body and I go, hey, that's not good enough for me. And it's very often my peers, my loved ones, my family members, they go, Tiffany, you need to be a little kinder to yourself. And when you want so much, I don't want to be complacent. I don't want to be still. So when it comes to comparing myself online, are you kidding me? Go check my Instagram. I take pictures of my body through all my phases because, again, I beat cancer. So I know what it's like to have no hair, not to be able to change myself, not to be able to stand, walk. So there's not one human on earth that can take that away from me, no matter what they say. No matter what they say. And what I say is, because I'm with the NWA, the only person I have to impress is my boss, Billy Corgan. And he loves La Princesa. And so does NWA World. Come on. But I like the pressure. I do. I like the pressure. I don't know if you're getting the energy, but I'm very high strung.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love. After this, I'm going right to the gym to work out. That's what I'm doing. It keeps me on my toes. It keeps me. I love for someone to check me and go, "Hey, you're missing something." And I go, "Yeah." Check next week. I'm gonna have it times 10. I like a challenge.
Random thought, Mike. I'm actually. Have you actually had people write to you and body shame you? What do they need? Fucking bifocals? The fuck's wrong with them? No, I'm serious though. You actually have people who say shit about your physical condition.
Dude, social media, everybody's got
I guess
something
I'm
to
not that
say about
surprised.
something. Has nothing to do with anyone in particular, right? It's just the way it is. Tiffany, you mentioned your battle with cancer and your survival. Can you go a little deeper into that? Like, what happened?
What do you want to know? Tell me about it.
Tell us about this. Like, how old were you? What happened?
I was 17. So
17.
I was preparing to
Wow.
play basketball for college, university at the time, and I was training in all girls private school. And I graduated at 16, so I was really excited, eager, done with high school. I was done with high school, getting ready to enroll in college, and for some reason I couldn't rotate my arm, and this was my hitting arm for volleyball. And it felt as hard as my knuckles, like really hard, and my skin started to peel. And they thought it was like something like cellulitis because I love to go swimming in the lakes. I jump in any pond of water, anything that had water, I just jump and swim. Because growing up, we didn't have that type of lifestyle. So I really would do. So they thought, oh, you definitely got something from shaving and going in those waters, So they gave me medicine, nothing. They kept diagnosing me. I mean, it was exhausting. I was a young girl who had never had an intimate moment yet and had men groping my breast to feel parts of my body, So that was very interesting to go through and try to convince people that something was wrong with me and they couldn't find it at first. And I think that's why I'm so strong, like headstrong now on what I believe, because when I was sick, unfortunately, God bless my dad, he had a hard time believing me at first because he was like, honey, the doctor said nothing's wrong with you. Honey, we tried this medicine. And it was my mom who was like, something's really wrong. This doesn't make sense. And they both stuck with me in different parts of it. But I will say my mom played a huge part when I was sick. And go mom. She deserves the world. That was a really tough time for my family. A lot of us broke during that time when we should have been together. And everything happens for a reason, though. But when I was diagnosed, the community came together for me. I didn't have health insurance at that time. So the community, I would always tell everyone to stay beautiful. And so they made bracelets that said stay beautiful. And a young girl who was the town next to me really liked that. And she was suffering and just been diagnosed with brain cancer. And she had just raised 40 grand for herself. So she donated 6 grand to my cause. And that 6 grand was enough to send me to Arizona and Colorado for 3 months to work with a shaman. We did Kundalini breathing. We did a lot of different topicals. We did a lot of a lot of mix of strains of all types of things, from mushrooms to cannabis. And when I came back, I was cancer free. And I did only 6 weeks of chemo. They wanted me to do radiation. I did have surgery. But I remember there was a time where I told my mom, if I'm going to die, I want to do it my way. And I don't want to do it this way. And she supported that. And it was hard for my dad at the time, too, to see me go through all this suffering. We definitely bumped heads a lot. We did not see eye to eye when I was sick. And that was a journey for my soul. And I never will forget what it felt like to come back and celebrate that I was cancer free, but then to find out that Nina was dying, the young girl that helped me. And that was hard, you know. And her whole family, I remember when they had announced that she was doing this donation for me. She was a young girl, 14, 16 years old. She was younger than me. So I was 16 turning 17. So I was 16 when this started happening, 17 trying to figure it out. It was a very long time. When I started to get into remission was around 18, 19. But these times, like, it was definitely 18. So when you are sick with cancer, it's a process. Like, you're sick with it, then you get diagnosed with it, then a treatment happens, then you're still being watched after for remission, still in your system. So it's a long process. So I could have been done with the medicine at 17, but I'm still going through the process till I'm 19, if that makes sense. I mean, they had me on 12 different steroids from the minute I woke up till, it's a whole process. So during my process, it was from 17 to 19. This young girl was 15 years old. And I remember feeling envious of her because when we would do chemotherapy, she still had her hair and she still looked pretty. And I had lost all my hair. And I remember she had both her parents together. And it was like, I was comparing myself, not realizing, foreshadowing that I had a gift and it was going to be to live and she was going to pass. And I didn't know that. You don't know. We always think the grass is greener on the other side because I'm over here sick with no hair. And I've got my mom and I wish my dad was here, but we're fighting. Here she is, beautiful blonde girl. The whole community loves her, cheerleader. She's got 2 parents, but guess what? She's not here right now. And that it's hard to say this without crying, but I've done so good at my role. But that's really what life is. We so much beat ourselves up all the time and look at everyone else and what they have and want it, not realizing, trust, you have a gift already. And my gift was that I was going to be here to talk to you guys about this story, but I didn't know it at that time. So when I came back and I was cancer free, I remember screaming on the top of my lungs because I couldn't believe that holistic healing did it for me, which pursued my massage therapy license after that. It felt the worst feeling ever going to Nina's funeral when all those people were worried about me because the night that she had awarded me the money, I was supposed to be there, but I couldn't. I was at the hospital because I was really sick. So it's just weird that the tables had turned. And I guess when I left, I don't want to be wrong because I know her family really we represent Nina well. So I don't want to talk too much about her treatment, but she did do experimental not experimental, but it's on that. Like, it wasn't tested enough, or it was, we are desperate. Can we try this type of medicine? And unfortunately, it didn't go well for her, and she passed. And that was the worst feeling I've ever felt in my whole life. Seeing a young girl who literally handed her hand to me and gave me her, I don't know if I'd still be here if it wasn't for Nina. I don't know. But Nina gave me something and I took it. And I'll never forget what it was like. Feeling like I should be so happy because I'm alive, but I felt guilty for it. And that's something that has never left me, but has been in my heart. And I think that's why I try to do my best and never. You keep asking me these questions. What do I feel about people who are negative, this and this? I can't think like that because I've got people like Nina who are watching me. I've got people like my grandma who passed during COVID wanting, I feel like they traded their life for mine. They said, God, she has such a big mission. Please take me so she can keep going. That's how I really feel. So I don't try to get stuck on the superficial things of the universe, kind of, because I just feel so lucky to be on a platform where I could talk about this and do this and touch people, even if I have to smack them around in a way and take it from them.
Tiff, you mentioned that you're a person of God, and it gets back to never feel guilty about this amazing story you just told. Because if we were in a world where the media would focus on stories like this as the headline, I think we'd be living in a much better world mentally, because the world's gone completely batshit right now.
Hmm.
Um, Also, never feel guilty, because understand it all gets back to sacrifice. Strangers saw your plight, saw your friend's plight, and sacrificed their financial hard work to give her money, and she sacrificed to give you. Rest in peace, good and faithful servant, because that's what this was, okay? Never feel
Yeah.
guilty. Never feel guilty
Thank
about
you for
this.
saying that. That means a lot. I feel that. So thank you. I never thought about it that way. But when you think
Yeah.
about it, the whole message of all this is like sacrifice, and like that's all love right there. And I think
Yep.
that's why I maybe they have, through their sacrifice, it taught me how to sacrifice in wrestling. And maybe that's why I'm so where I am today. Now that you
Right.
say
And
that.
oddly enough, one of my partner's favorite songs from my band is a song called Sinners Never Sacrifice.
Wow.
So
I
so we
gotta
have
check that
that.
out. My
Yeah.
next workout video is gonna be to this song. I can't
There you
wait.
go. Oh, it's a good song. You can definitely pump iron to it. I know Mike does. Not to hit you with a hard turn to the left or to the right, not to be weird about it, but
We do that.
unfortunately, more so than ever, this country is divided, obviously. How do you handle? Look, I've watched family members break up. I've over political, religious, whatever this giant storm that Satan is enjoying right now. Forgive me, but that's how I look at this.
Right.
Um, how do you handle this in the back or with your family? When you might hear something, whatever side you may be on, or if you're in the middle, if you hear something that you might want to say something. Maybe you pull back, maybe you don't. How are you handling the divisiveness and the really, really fiery way that the world is becoming, especially this country right now? If you don't believe what I say, you're no good, you're this, you're that. I mean, what do we do here? How do you handle it?
I think right now the world is in a, like, you're acknowledging something that's very hard to ignore. I mean, we can feel it when we walk outside. It gives me goosebumps to know, like,
What is it
I'm
called?
really I'm really big into faith, and because I travel so much, I have yet to even discuss some of these very important topics with my family members. Uh, but I don't think it's something that needs to be discussed, because we all come from, when things like this happen, not necessarily we avoid it, but we check in on each other more. We call each other more. We tell each other we love each other more. Because I think that's what's missing, is the support, the reminder that we're all on the same side, we're all on the same team, and that really sometimes a lot of this all stems from fear and lack of love. So when we feel that, we just check on each other so much more. And I'm very lucky. My siblings. Just before this phone call, I told my dad I love him like 8 times. I called him. I try to connect with the people that I love and do what I can, because I think so many people feel hopeless. They're like, oh, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? There's nothing I can do. I can't believe this happened. You're absolutely right. But what you can do is still continue to spread love within the 6 feet that you are, because that person needs it. I need it. With what's going on, we need it right now. So I start there rather than getting overwhelmed. I think a true idiot makes things complicated. Smart people keep things simple. And it's as
Oh,
simple as, you know
amen.
what?
Yeah.
Call the person, tell them you love them. You got some problem with someone? Hey, this doesn't really matter. Do we need to agree? Does right and wrong matter? I love you. Can I help you? Are you going through a tough time? Let's talk about it. I'm here to listen. So
Tiffany, you're
Perfect.
killing it right now. People, if people moved away from the NWA for whatever reason, they'll be
Come
returning
back.
back.
Yeah.
I'll be. It's back. Well
Get
done,
your
my
ass
friend.
back.
Well done. So, Tiffany, being a younger wrestler, I'm going to
yeah,
challenge.
thank you.
I'm going to challenge you with this. I've noticed that a lot of the younger wrestlers don't really look at the history of
No, they don't.
wrestling.
Some
How
of
far
Okay.
do you go? How are you as far as a historian in wrestling? You're not going to be quizzed. I'm just asking.
I'm better than Sherry Martel.
Oh, Sherry Martel name
Okay.
drop.
All right.
Wait a
All
minute.
right.
That's my favorite all-time women's wrestler. That's quite the bar,
I'm
Tiff.
not mad at you. She's the past. I am the future.
There you go. All
Wow.
right. I can go with that.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I think
I
this
do
may.
my research because I actually am mentored by a lot of people that paved the way. I mean, Jazz is one of the greatest people in my time.
That's
She
great.
started with
Yep.
ECW. She was the
Yep.
last WWF champion, the first WWE champion ever, and she lives off TNA and not tits and ass, talent and attitude. So a lot of people that she watches and she came up from inspire me. You know, and when you're with the NWA, you have to know the history of the NWA. And my friend just played in that movie. She was the main star, Mildred Burke. You know, that's an incredible. If you haven't seen Millie,
No.
Emily,
Okay.
she's a friend of mine. She played the main character. And when you have, you know, I don't know how I attract some people who just, when you care about something, you're gonna want to learn about it, right? So with the NWA, I chose to be at the NWA. That was a decision. It wasn't something that was like a last option. I wanted to go there. And it's something I sat on and thought about before I said yes, even though I knew I wanted to. And Billy will tell you the story. I didn't sign the contract for 3 months. Someone else would have taken it. I just was like, hold on, you know, I want to be here. Where can I fit? Because for me, it's all about creating history. So to create history, you have to know your history.
Wait, but
So
Tiffany, I got
pay
to ask you
attention.
now. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's
And
like you're getting offered this contract, and here you are, a
wait,
growing wrestler.
your service
and,
is kind of coming in and out.
oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
No. I heard you. Did you say I'm the hottest wrestler, or am I making that up?
You're making. You're kind of making no.
No.
You are the hottest wrestler. But
Okay,
anyway,
there you go.
let me keep my personal feelings out of it. Here you are, a young wrestler coming up. You're getting offered a contract with the NWA, Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins, right? And how do you not sign that contract? Tell me where you get those kind of balls.
Oh, that's so funny. You have to ask Billy, because Billy makes a joke. He is so embarrassing. He loves to tell my mom everything. It's so annoying, which I love him for. My mom was at a show and he goes, do you know your daughter made me fight 2 men for her? Because at the time, you know, there was discussions going on. And he made a joke because I told him, like, when I was young that I had crushes on men with blue eyes, you know, and he's like, I've got blue eyes. He's like, why are you making me work so hard? So it's funny. At the time, he would come to shows that I was at and was like, hey, no pressure, you know, or he was doing everything he could to like remind me, like, hey, that contract's sitting and waiting for you. But I think sometimes ignorance is bliss. So I will be honest, growing up as a New Yorican, Smashing Pumpkins wasn't on my playlist, unfortunately. Love him, watched all the movies his stuff is in. So when I met him, it was at an Exodus Pro seminar, and it's something EC3 has going on in Cleveland. It's an NWA territory, great, one of the best territories out there. And they said Billy Corgan was going to be there. It was going to be a whole seminar, and EC3 gave me the Iggy, like, you should go because Billy has his eyes on you. Jazz sent him your stuff, and he wants to see what you got. And I thought, okay, like, let's bring it on. So I went to this seminar, and unfortunately, I had to sacrifice to go. So the same day, I was booked for a cancer awareness wrestling show.
Oh.
And could you imagine how that made me feel?
Yep.
So, and then to not sign right away, it just doesn't make sense. But I'm always strategic about it, and I will make it up to that promoter. I told him many times over, and I'm gonna do something. I still haven't yet, but I will. At the time, it was either one or the other. And you know, when someone tells you, "Hey, Billy Corgan wants to meet you," you're gonna go see him. So obviously, I knew Billy Corgan was a big deal, and I knew pausing on the contract was a big deal. I wasn't just aloof to it. It wasn't just something that happened. But I am grateful that I'm going to tell you right now, Shawn Michaels is on my list for everything. Like, if it was Shawn Michaels, I wouldn't have even had a word to say. I would have been, you know, honestly, I would have. So I do like that it wasn't Shawn Michaels, but it was Billy Corgan. So when I saw him, he comes up to me and he's like, hi. And, you know, he's got a great infectious smile. So it's so easy to match his energy and feel comfortable with him. And he had told me, hey, Aaron Stevens was there, and they asked me, they're like, hey, you want to cut a promo for Billy? Like, right there on the spot. They gave me a microphone, and there was a room full of people, but I love doing that. So I was like, give it to me now. And I cut a promo, and that was the first time I ever actually cut a promo saying, get it, got it, bueno. I have never cut a promo saying, get it, got it, bueno. I would always say, get it, got it, good. And Aaron Stevens was there. I don't know if you're familiar with Aaron Stevens. If you're not, you live under a rock. But
Aaron's been on the
like,
show. Aaron's been on the show.
He's like, imagine you love this boy, right? And some bartender just got in his face and smacked him. Say, get it, got it, good again. I go, oh, get it, got it, good. And he's like, aren't you Puerto Rican? I'm like, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. He's like, how do you say good in Spanish? I said, bueno. He goes, now tell me it. I said, get it, got it, bueno. And he's like, that's it. And then like from there, history was created. And after that, I went to Billy Corgan. I said something, how I'm a part of the 1%. Who do you think you are? And then I said, bueno. And right after that, he said, okay, we're going to do something tonight. You and I, we're going to have a segment, but I'm not giving you a script because at NWA, we don't write scripts. And all I thought was refreshing, because who are you to tell me how to be and what to say? I'm going to do it myself. So I went out there and I had 2 titles at the time, the Mission Pro title and the Exodus Pro title, or Destiny's Women's title. And I just threw it on him, made him hold it for me, and cut this promo in front of a live crowd on live NWA YouTube. It's there. And I called him a hillbilly. I told him he can get his bags and go. The point was, Billy was entertained that the second we got done, he offered me a contract. He goes, I want to sign you. I'm interested in having you. I want you to face my champion, Kenzie Page. And that's how we did business. I said, listen, you give me a championship match and you entice me with the championship, maybe we could talk. And he's kept his word since. So that's really, thank you, Billy Corgan, for making La Princesa TVMA. Couldn't have done it without him. Love Billy Corgan. But I think sometimes the best love is slow, And the love I have for NWA, I'm glad I didn't rush into it. I'm glad I took my time. I'm glad I thought about it, because it's not a decision I did out of desperation. It's not or just excitement or just confusion. I did it thoroughly, and I knew what I wanted, and I had to think about it. And when you commit to a company, you want to make sure you're committing. And the day I committed, everyone will tell you I took over every single territory. There's like 6 territories. I was in every single one. I was out driving to Jazz in Texas, out driving Tennessee to Dr. Tom, anywhere, anyone, going to EC3 in Cleveland, Ohio. Like, I literally did all the groundwork. I just wasn't going to sign that contract unless I knew I was going to do it. I didn't want to sign a contract and sit 3 weeks and wait. When I signed a contract, it was going to be business time. And that's exactly what I've done since then. I like to say that I am, I'm very proud of our NWA Women's Champion, but I will say I am definitely the blood, sweat, and tears of the women's division. If you think of NWA, you're thinking of La Princesa Tiffany Nieves. They go hand in hand.
There it is. And 2 things.
They go mano y mano.
Mano y mano. Bueno. Two things I want to say to Tiff. First of all, you mentioned something earlier, just musically notating that you didn't.
And you're great listeners, by the way. Thank you.
Growing up, you said in a Latino household that Smashing Pumpkins wasn't on your playlist. Do you now realize, now that you've been with Billy for a little while, I have to ask this, Mike, being a musician myself, do you now realize that you are working with one of the only 2 surviving lead singers from the grunge revolution that took over American rock radio and brought rock back into the forefront of our culture? Have you taken the time to listen to Smashing Pumpkins?
You want to know why sometimes Billy is the most humble human being ever. He does not walk around, treat people, or act that way at all. He doesn't. I get goosebumps thinking of this man. I don't want to offend his wife when I talk about Billy, but Billy is a great man. So sometimes I don't look at him like he's a rock star. I get shook because he's just a great man. Honestly, he's great. I see him as a dad. I see him as a husband. I see him as a rock star. And then he still comes to TV tapings fully engaged. This guy has a burner account and he's watching our page all day, every day. If I message Billy right now, he will answer me right off the tour bus. Like, this man is so if someone says something bad about Billy, I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to defend that.
Wait. Hold on. What's up, Billy? Rock on, man. I had to do it, Mike. Maybe he'll give us a call,
I really like, he's so my cup of tea. Like, we just get each other business-wise, creative-wise. He does not, just because he pays me, I'm not saying this. Right. Like, this man is really the real deal. If he says something, he's about it. And he's funny and he's great. And he's just got so much. He's a cool guy. And I think that gets me. The more I get to know him, the more I do get a little shy. But he always reminds me, like, he is a very much an energy matcher. So anytime I'm talking to him, I feel it right back. And it's so hard not to smile. He's a great guy. So I think Sometimes I don't get blown away that he's such a rock star. I get blown away he's such a good human being. I'm just like, dude, you're my boss and you're this awesome and you're about your word and you're honest and you're all these great things and I commend you because this man goes on tour for the love of music, but for the love of the NWA too. He's still working so hard so that we can have the NWA, and I appreciate that.
Tiff, what do you think about you mentioned territory?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear
yes.
me? All right.
Yeah, we can hear you, Mike.
I just want to get 2 questions in, Jim, and then you got it.
Yeah,
okay?
go ahead.
Number 1, Tiffany, you mentioned Shawn Michaels, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, when you look at Shawn Michaels, do you think of the Shawn Michaels when we were younger, or do you think of the Shawn Michaels you see now?
It's not aged in my eyes. It's so bad.
Wait a minute, but he has. Oh, never mind.
It's gonna be a problem when I shake his hand.
Yeah, there's a quite a difference in the Shawn Michaels back then.
So
but Tiffany, it's all good.
I definitely have a crush. Oops.
All right, hard question.
But he's not my boss, so it's okay.
There you go.
Better
hard
be careful. You better be careful. That he's the heartbreak kid.
He reminds me so much of myself when I see him, and I love myself. So that's probably what it is. But I liked what he did and the time he did, and I just loved his hair. I loved his look. I loved his attitude. I'm definitely inspired. You can't tell that man nothing. His character, you can't tell him anything. And I love that. And same thing with me. I think I'm more attracted to the persona and aura that he oozed during that time. That is timeless. So of course when I see him,
it is.
I see that timeless character he created. I don't really see him or any his age. I just see a timeless character that is just would you cemented.
Tiff, would you go deer hunting with him?
Absolutely. I would carry the deer to him. I would ride the deer. He's right here. Get it.
I'll cook the venison. Wait a minute. I'll cook the venison. That's great.
The only question I'd have for Tiffany, if you were talking to him,
but all respect to your family, Shawn Michaels, no pervy on this end. I just love what you did and what you made. Okay, that's all I got.
There we go.
The question I have for you, though, Tiffany, would you think he was looking at you when he was speaking to you, though? That would be the question.
That's it. I'm gone. See ya.
Wait. When did he speak to me?
Hypothetically.
Man. Listen.
Hard question, Tiffany. Hulk Hogan passed away.
Hogan. Yeah.
The treatment of Hogan and the thoughts of Hulk Hogan as a younger wrestler. Tell me what Tiffany Nieves thinks of Hulk Hogan.
I think he's another example of someone who will forever be cemented in wrestling. I mean, you can't get rid of Vince McMahon because Vince, I don't know what Vince went through, so I don't want to make any public statements, but can you take Vince away from wrestling? Is there wrestling without Vince McMahon?
Nope.
Yes or no?
No.
Is there wrestling without Hulk Hogan?
No.
So that's how I feel about it, I don't like anything in any circumstance. But I judge people based on the experiences that I've experienced. I've never, if I haven't heard it, if I haven't seen it, then I have no feelings attached to it. It's just that simple. If someone came to me and told me that they were hurt by something, like I said, I offer love and I offer ears. That's all I can do. But I am not someone who could change, cement, or even voice how I feel, because unless God's talking through me, it's not. But I think he will forever be in wrestling history. There's nothing you can do to get rid of him. And honestly, rest in peace and prayers to him and his family for any unresolved or anything. It sucks to have to lose anyone, no matter what. It just is not, it's tough times. So I think when we lose someone right now, the focus should be not what we think about them. It's just, I hope they're in a better place.
Tiffany, what's your mount?
I will say I'm thankful for what the positive he's done in the business.
Yeah.
Well said. What's your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers?
That's funny. It changes. It really changes because mine's really weird. So, all right, if I do it, I'm going to take away all the independent girls, okay? But, I would like Kylie Rae. Kylie Rae is so free. If we're going to do, an independent squad, Kylie Rae, she's an Evolve. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been around
for a while. Kylie Rae?
Yeah.
Maggie Lee would be on my team. If we're thinking Maggie Lee, she's with TNA. Love her. And if we're talking about old school now, if we're making the epitome of the Rushmore for Tiffany, we're gonna have Becky Lynch in there. We're definitely gonna have Shawn Michaels in there. We're gonna bring Eddie Guerrero back to life, and then we're gonna have Chyna. It's a mix of a lot of different things there.
Tiff, was China her own worst enemy?
But do you know China? You said.
Yeah, was China her own worst enemy? It's
So
so
how do
sad.
we know that if we weren't there
I
with
don't
her?
know. That's why I'm
Right.
asking. Like, what we've
So
read, it
being in the
seems like
wrestling world, I like to think when you don't have help, things can get worse. So people know where you're at in wrestling and they see that. And they sometimes can look the other way and go, that's money regardless. And they don't care what mental state you're in. You know what I mean? So I don't
yeah,
think she's at fault for the mental state she's in. It's unfortunate that she didn't get the tools that she may have needed. And if anything, she just was pushed. At least that's the narrative that we see. Now, I don't know China's life. I don't
right.
know. No one put a gun to anyone's head. That's the way I think about it. It's very difficult for me. Mental. I want to address mental health. Like that's very important. But a thing about mental health is being able to take accountability for what is actually happening compared to your thoughts and what's not happening. Right.
Right.
So I think being able to advocate for yourself is very important. And when you can't, surrounding yourself with people that can. And this business will definitely eat you up mentally. And there's nothing you can do about it. But the one thing I like to say is no one puts a gun to anyone's head. No one put a gun to China's head and said, you have to do this career. You have to be in this business. She wanted to. She
Right.
liked it. And she kept coming
Yes.
back. I mean, at the end of the day, if
Yep.
you're broke or poor, go get a job at McDonald's. And I'm not being mad. I know, listen. I hate anyone who's been put on drugs, addicted to things, all those things. But at the end of the day, right? I chose to be a wrestler, and I can stop tomorrow if I want to.
I think sadly enough,
But
somewhere in
I'm
the middle.
sounding insensitive because the thing is, like,
No,
mental health is real. It's real. Sometimes it's not that easy.
I don't think you're sounding insensitive. I think you're sounding realistic because somewhere in the middle lies the truth. Yes, China could have made better decisions, but she was also taken advantage of by very evil people at the end. So somewhere in the middle does lie the truth, and it's not insensitive to observe it accurately,
And that's
which
the
is
thing
what you
that
just
stinks.
did.
Like you don't know until you know. Like so, for all we know, she didn't know she's being taken advantage of until you're at the end and you're looking at everything and you're like, what? And
Right.
that's why I have a heart for everyone because I was blessed. Like I said, my parents weren't in the same household. I should have never compared myself to Nina, but I do come from a household clearly that instilled these things in me, these tools in me to know these things. And there are people who just don't have it. So I should look at them like they should make better choices. They may not even know how to, you know?
Right.
So
You're right.
that's the unfortunate thing about anything
Yep.
and everything is that you have to consider all these things when you say anything. So I try to be careful, you know. That was my statement based off watching a little bit of an episode that they chose to put together for her, you know. We don't know, you know. And that's another person, rest her soul. And I like her, so that's why she's gonna be on my Rushmore because I think like she was another one. I mean, gone too freaking soon. It was sad, like, and not just gone like where she passed. I just feel like gone from the business too soon. Like I feel like there was a lot more China could have done, and I think she felt that too. Sadness can be a thing, you know. So I
Oh, it
pray
is.
for anyone, and I hope that no one is going through that now. And if you are, you call me right now. I've got time, okay? I've got TV time.
Nice. Tiffany, let me ask you this. In your personal life, do you stay away from dating wrestlers or are you involved in the whole dating
I'm in a
wrestling thing?
4-year committed relationship. Actually, his name is Will Austin. I met him. He's been wrestling for 7 years. He's a great guy. I'm so
Nice.
lucky to have him by my side. We are complete opposites. But listen, the way I say it to him and the world, I am single to have a ring. So am I in a relationship with
Wow.
one man that I kiss? Sure. But this ring, all ladies, take notes. If you don't got a ring, you're single.
Oof.
Whoa.
So technically, you know, my last name
What's
is
the area?
Nieves.
What's the area code, Tiff? What's your area code? This is
Who you
terrible.
ask, Timmy? Who you asking for a friend?
Let me
Yeah,
just
for a
tell you,
friend.
I'm
My
a
cat.
good
My
flirt.
cat.
So I like the guy I'm with because he lets me be a free spirit in a sense, not like free spirit dating. Let me get this right. I love I love hard, and when I see like if I meet you guys, I'm gonna give you a hug, right? That's what I'm gonna do, and my partner is not insecure by that, you know, and I
That's
love
cool.
that. I
That's
am
cool.
big on energy, so the
That's
second I see
rare.
people,
That's good.
I want to give them 3 compliments because I match me, give them right back to me, you know. I like being who I am, so in the wrestling world, they say, you know, don't get involved with other wrestlers. Well, I'm so happy I have because he understands the business. He gets it. This man picks me up, drops me off at the airport. I mean, last minute, I thought I was going to Canada tomorrow. yesterday I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to Canada in 8 hours. I need to start packing. And he didn't think twice. He knows what I need, what I don't need, you know. We have a dog and I'm very lucky.
All right.
But
Nice.
temptation is real, and I'm glad that I have one person because I think that's what's kept me on the where I'm at. I've been wrestling for 4 years and I've been with the same man for 4 years. So the distractions are very little, as opposed to a young girl who may be single. It could be challenging because there's a lot of beautiful men and female in this business, very much so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I am happy to be dating my little wrestler, Will Austin. He's a handsome man. Follow him.
We will.
He's at Reality Wrestling with me as well now in Texas. That's where we're at.
I want to be respectful of the princess's time, so I just want to give you one last question. Wrestlers on social media nowadays are very vocal about the fact that fans are impeding on their personal space. What does the princess think about those comments?
What do you think about those comments?
I think if you're in the, if you're in the limelight and you're a star, there's a certain expectation, but there is a private time, right? That is your time for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like is that now we live in a world where I get to know what Will Smith thinks outside of when I see him in a movie.
Thank you. Preach. Go.
Like,
go.
That's it. And I remember, what makes Shawn Michaels so special to me is I never read a tweet from Shawn Michaels complaining about anything. Anything. I just knew Shawn Michaels for what I saw on the TV. So I feel like sometimes I have never gone to, I've experienced a lot of things, a lot of annoying things. And I feel a type of way about that. I don't go to, I think there's someone to go to and it's not the internet. You know what I mean? My Twitter's to show pictures of me and advertise where my next show is. And that's all I want it to be, And I think I know the world I'm getting into, so I have to be prepared for it, I have yet, it's tough for me to be this arrogant jerk because I'm not at the rate yet where people are sending mail to my parents' house. I have to be honest, my soft spot is my parents, my family. I don't see myself ranting about it online, but if the day was to ever come where they get messaged, I think I would laugh. I'd go, oh, well, I knew this was going to happen. I would not go, oh, what? My family got a message. I had no idea this would ever happen. That means I'm working hard. I'm doing something right. I found my family. I'm not happy about it, but damn, I must be over. All right, what we're going to do is, let's pick, who is it? Where'd it come from? How can we close this? It's tricky because I think some people think if they make an announcement, right, it's going to put an end to it. No, it's going to bring more attention to it. There's a possibility that it could have a negative connotation. And we have to remember our fans, they do have to stay in their lane. They have to, how I feel about someone coming into the ring that's not a wrestler. I have opinions about that as well. But I think at the end of the day, I can't stand it when entertainers complain about the side effects of being an entertainer. We just have to do our best to be as prepared as possible to keep ourselves safe. But also, as humanity, let's be respectful that just because people are putting themselves in a position to be out there doesn't mean they want to be grabbed, touched, or anything. You know what? I may have a cranky moment at the airport. And you know what? I have to realize that if I do, you might put it on the internet and I can't cry about it because I chose that career. You know what I mean? So maybe when I go to the airport, I maybe shouldn't be a bitch, even if I feel bitchy, because guess what? I've got $20,000 for doing a meet and greet with fans, and that person has to go home and do a job that's way different than mine. So if I'm making 20 grand doing a meet and greet, unfortunately, you can't be a bitch at the airport because you're making money off your image and who you are. You know what I mean? So why are you guess what? That until you go home is who you got to be. And if that's a problem, then bitch about it online, then complain about it, and you probably still will make money. It's fine. That's it. I just choose not to do that. That's my version. I think if that's happened to someone, though, I do feel bad for them. That is a bitch to go through. And because we have freedom of speech, we can just do it. I just know that for me, I really liked growing up in a time where I didn't know what these people were doing, what they were saying, or any complaints. I just don't care for it.
You're going to go far in this business, Mike.
I
She's
hope
already
so,
gone
right?
far, and forget about it.
Gonna go farther.
Listen, there's people I
Yep.
know that are just
Further.
saying, you know what? She's giving faith to 20-year-olds at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
it's
Thank
today's
you. I
youth.
hope so. That's
You have. I got to ask you now that you brought it up. What were your thoughts of Rajah Jackson coming into the ring and attacking that Psycho Sid fella?
Psycho
you know,
Stu.
there's so many different stories, right? Do we still know exactly what happened? I mean, everyone has a different version of the story. I think the one thing that we have to take away from that is that stop thinking this curtain is pulled in wrestling. We have to stop thinking that people know things. We have to stop we have to protect this. Protect humans, protect people, protect the business. Whatever that means, that's what it means. It's as simple as that. That we are getting sloppy is what it's showing me, what it's telling me, and it's unacceptable. I think something like that, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be honest. I'm surprised this is the first time something like this is happening with how much we've let so much, happen. I think it's unfortunate. That should not have happened. That's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And it makes me so sad that something that's supposed to be so great that someone paid, because think of the story about the guy who saved $20 to go to that show to take his family to go watch. That's what I'm thinking about. That's not right to them and anyone in there. And we forgot and lost purpose of what we're doing this for. Are we doing it for the views real quick online? Or what are we doing this for? Are we forgetting about the people who pay? And then also, no one should be leaving maybe not knowing if they're going to be alive at the end of the night. That's unprofessional. I'm trained to hit people in safe places. And guess what? There's a lot of people I've gotten in the ring with that I didn't like, but I diffuse my situations aside from what you see that I do in front of the referee by communicating. So it's just a shame that someone's life was really at risk and had suffered that much. And I just think about the family from both parties too, because regardless, both families are suffering right now, and that's just. I think the school lost their ID program too. There's so many long-term effects because of a decision that just was sloppy.
Incredible. All right, so 2 promises you have to make us, Tiffany. 1, when we see you at the big event, because we'll have a table there, please say hello to us for sure.
You guys are having a table there?
Of course,
Yeah.
every year. So we will see you there.
Next
number
year, you have to
2,
bring me on your table. Come on.
Oh, we will. Number 2, when you move on to the WWE, which I'm going to make that prediction, don't forget about.
I want to be the first woman to bring NWA titles into the Royal Rumble. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Let's do it.
I can see that.
Just don't forget us. That's all we're asking. Don't forget.
Oh no,
us.
I'm gonna have a promise for you back. Think about it. Save your coins. I think you should both get a Tiffany merch shirt and be wearing it for the big event, or just have it so then we can take pictures in it.
Without a doubt. But then you got to wear a Monte The Pharaoh. But then you got to wear a Monte The Pharaoh shirt. So there you go.
All right, I want one back.
You got it.
If I held the inventory for the shirts, I would have them for you. But NWA has them on their website, which
we're all over it.
NWA
in fact, we have a sponsorship with Level 500. I'll just hit the owner up and we'll get our NWA shirts. We're good to go.
Let's do it. Get me one too, then.
Jimmy, any final words for our special guest?
I actually do. I actually do have final words. All right, Tiff, here we go. Dream match. Shawn Michaels versus Eddie Guerrero. Who you're rooting for?
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, that was too quick. I thought I had a good one. I thought I had picked one where it was like, okay, legacies, heritage, they both got incredible.
You know what though? Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah, you
think
thought
about
you did,
that match.
Yeah, I did for a second. I had to think.
What a nerd I am.
Have they had a match?
Did they, Mike? I don't know.
I feel like I Googled it.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Up, trust me.
All right, how about this? Since we're playing Let's Pretend, the winner gets to become your manager and cut promos with you. You want Eddie or Shawn?
Come on. So that's hard. I feel like
I know.
Want to know something? Let's talk about it. He has a daughter.
Okay.
Her name's Sherry Lynn. She's in Houston, Texas. We actually been talking if he wants to manage me.
Wow.
Oh, well. You don't think
Isn't
this
that
is a
something?
coincidence, do you, that
So
this
I
came
told
up?
her, I said, you know, you being my manager, we're thinking about doing something at Reality Wrestling. I said, you being my manager would actually fulfill me, like always wanting to work with the Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, like through you. So it's
Yeah,
just
man.
so ironic. I feel like Eddie
Eh?
would bring up a not. So I feel like if I went with Eddie, we would play the Latino Heat, and that would be so hot. Like, I
That's
mean,
what
yeah.
I was. That's what I was thinking. And remember, there are no coincidences with God, and that's how this conversation came about. Thank you. That's
There
my
you
final
go.
words there,
Period.
Mikey.
Yep.
That's it.
So I feel like the right answer, I would have gone with Eddie and then just flirt with Shawn Michaels behind the scenes.
Okay.
Because if we
See?
would have worked together, we probably would have bumped heads. Our love would have faded real quickly.
This
But
is
at
a
least I could
win-win.
tease him on working with Eddie. Like, yeah, that's right. This could have been us, but from Latino Heat, baby.
Oh man.
Sorry, but I grew up, you could tell the child in me. So I grew up watching Shawn Michaels and I developed a crush over him that has never gone away. But, you know, I can be professional.
There it is, Mike.
Like,
There it
imagine
is.
being that good that you have a young lady still blushing when she talks about you because of the things you did during the Attitude Era. Like, that is
Wow.
skill. That's crazy.
Listen, Tiffany, with all due respect, I think you're just like your eyes aren't working when it's really happening.
Yeah, I told you
You're
I was
lost.
delusional. I told you I believe the stuff I believe and I live to it till I do.
So
Wait
you know,
a minute,
Jimmy,
Mike,
this
what
is
do you
where
say-
we made.
wait.
Hold on, Jimmy. This is where we made our mistake in life. You see that beautiful young lady there?
Yeah.
If we just could influence someone when at that age, you see how we look now, they would
Wait a
still
minute.
think we were okay.
Are you telling me
You
that I
guys have
don't
the
look like?
riz to make them
Are you?
blind. Love makes you blind.
Are you telling me that I don't look like I'm in my 30s still?
You know, you look like RVD.
Wow, Jimmy, you look like RVD.
That's good. That's not bad. I'll go with that. It's better than
you know
And Tiffany,
that guy-
what do I look like? What do I look like? The Marshmallow Man?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There you go. What?
You know, she's just
What?
being nice. Really, when she gets off, she's gonna go, those two old guys, man. I'll tell
Oh,
you.
shut up. No.
Tiffany,
I
thank
hear
you
it.
for
I wanna
joining
hear it
us.
anyway.
You are an incredible talent. You have a bright future, and we are huge fans. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you, guys. Are we saying goodbye? Is that what's happening?
We're saying
For
goodbye.
now.
Yeah. For
Now.
now.
We will
Till
see soon.
November, because if you're in this right now, make sure you come to the big New York event. We're all going to be there. Don't miss it. If you love this, you're going to love that. Get it? You got it?